grand. Bientôt chez toi prochainement. Tout le monde prend leur place avant de faire le choix des compliments. 25 ans pour m'intégrer. Est-ce que toi t'as essayé? Flashback à l'école, on m'appelait Hubert Fifi près d'acier. Prends-nous une chance, je veux rien espérer. Arrache une branche pour fuir mes péchés.
That was Octobre by Québécois singer-songwriter Hubert Lenoir. Now, he shot onto the scene with his debut solo album Darlène, a glam rock postmodern opera that was shortlisted for the 2018 Polaris Music Prize. And he went on to draw attention and praise on both sides of the Atlantic for his electric and somewhat wild stage performances. And he's just released a new, very personal album. It's called PICTURA de IPSE, Musique, directe. And he's here in the studio to tell me more about it. Thanks so much for being with us, Hubert.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new release.
Thank you.
This is a very intimate album for you. Pictura de Ipse is the Latin for self-portrait, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
It features a lot of personal recordings from your phone, actually.
Yes.
Is this kind of a musical autobiography?
Well, it's not an autobiography in a way that it's not talking about my whole life, but yeah, I mean, it's just like it's mostly like feels like a self-portrait, like a documentary of maybe last 3 years of my life that were pretty hectic and fucked up in a lot of ways, and I kind of needed to put that in music.
I read somewhere that you actually swallowed a microphone for one of the tracks. What does that sound like?
Well, it sounds like it sounds like you can hear it on the last track of the record, but I just felt like I needed to record. It's actually like Noemi's idea. She said like she listened to the song that was like originally like a demo on my iPhone, and she said like it should be listened to in from inside of your body, and it's like, well, that's impossible. What? And then I was like, well, maybe. So I went to the microphone store and bought like a small mic, but it was still pretty big, and swallowed it. I puked.
Oh.
I puked like a couple times, and then it was really hard to swallow, and but then did it. It felt great.
I won't ask how you got that mic back, but
I didn't.
Okay, you pull it out.
Yeah, pull it out. Yeah.
We won't go into the details. This is a very generous album. You got 20 tracks on this album. And in the title, you talk about Musique, directe. You've said this is a tribute to cinéma directe, which was a movement genre that was born in Quebec at the end of the 50s. Can you tell us a little bit more about how it influenced music?
Well, it influenced it in a way that I was influenced by the way these filmmakers were telling stories, like telling the truth with the real, you know? They were... it was like sort of like proto-documentary film, and I was just inspired by... I feel like a lot of personal albums are just being very one-sided, and they're always into really like crying, and it's, I don't know, I just find them boring. Well, don't get me wrong, like some of them are cool, but so I was like, if I'm gonna go there and like write something personal, I might as well just like take every facts and try to do like a self-portrait that's gonna be have the proof, you know, the audio proof to what I'm saying, and have like and don't get it like one-sided. I can have like, so you know, I can talk about like different subject and have like some talk about the good and the bad.
So it's kind of like a documentary in music. We're going to listen to a little bit of a track off the album. It's called Secret. Take a listen.
Yes.
that was the track Secret off.
That's my parents' place. You see there.
I was wondering. It looks
Yes.
very looks like a very intimate place for you. Like,
Yeah, it looks like really looks like a American backyard. You don't have that in Europe, don't you?
No, it's very exotic for us here.
They look good, eh? I know.
So you've said in past interviews, and you mentioned it a little earlier, that your sudden, access to fame the last 3 years were kind of, I guess, déboussolant, as we'd say in French, kind of put you off kilter. How do you kind of find yourself in that moment where, all of a sudden you're in the spotlight and everyone has a very strong opinion about you, whether they love you or they don't really get what you're doing?
How do I find myself?
Yeah, how do you not lose yourself, maybe?
Well, you lose it. There's really pretty much no other way. Yeah, I lost myself. That's pretty much like the idea of this record. Why I needed to do it.
And so fame can have some darker sides, I guess, but it also can have some advantages. You were recently featured in the Canadian version of The Simpsons, which is kind of amazing. How does that make you feel?
To be famous, it's sick. I love it. No, but The Simpsons is crazy. Like it's honestly, I feel like it's better than being like it's better than, it's like the most universal thing, and also like being like a kid from this era, like listening to The Simpsons has been something I've been doing my whole life. So being featured in an episode is awesome. So yeah, I think it's great. But I feel like, I don't know. I'm not mad at fame or anything. I just feel that my life has just been very hectic and chaotic, and there's a lot of dizziness coming, and I still don't have like answers to that, but it's still, but I like it though, because I'm allowed to do pretty much anything.
Yeah, and as you said, finding your way through through an album like this.
But I don't really do like the fame thing, like going to restaurants and asking for a place, and I don't really do that. But I it happened to me a couple times, but it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
People just gave me the restaurant table, but I didn't want it. Like I did.
It's all right.
It
You
happens.
deserve it.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to some other music news that's making headlines, and staying with Canadian music, and precisely music from Quebec, with the band Chose Sauvage. They're releasing a second album called Chose Sauvage 2. 12 disco dream pop tracks that are groovy and sure to get you dancing like this little gem. It's
Shout
called
out à Chose
Dimension.
Sauvage. I know them.
La vérité change de couleur à toutes les heures. Je redéfinis les principes de la science. Je pense ce qu'on me dit, mais je dis ce que je pense. Je cherche une réponse à tout.
British singer-songwriter James Blake is releasing his fifth album. It's called Friends That Break Your Heart. It's a 12-track LP that marks the follow-up to his 2019 album Assume Form, and it includes the song Say What You Will, a song about finding peace and with who you are and where you're at, and that regardless of how well other people seem to be doing. Take a listen.
Say what you will.
Go on, you're gonna do it anyway. Say what you will. I can find my way with no superpowers. I can take my place without becoming sour. I might not make.
So that was Say What You Will by James Blake, featuring, you might recognize him, Phineas, the American producer who's produced musicians like Billie Eilish, his sister. Now, we were talking about music videos. You mentioned that your parents' place was in the music video for Secret. There's kind of like a trademark visual aspect to your music videos. They're very intimate. They feature a lot of home videos. Was it important for you to bring the intimacy of your songs into the visual aspect of your music?
Well, the music videos are directed by Noemi, so they've always been directed by her, and I feel that there's like maybe because the whole idea of Musique Directe came from like conversation with her, and I feel that the idea of like documentary was something that she did through her art, whether like her book or like music videos. She always like thought of writing with some realness, and so like the way she's directing music videos, she always tried to connect with and we always use like friends and family, so like she always put forward like if it's a backyard, it has to be like my parents' backyard, like, so from that comes like a lot of realness and truth, and like, yeah, I'm just really inspired by the way she's working, so it connects with me.
Well, they're beautiful music videos. Definitely check them out. And speaking of music videos, we're going to leave you with the French band Feu Chatterton. They're releasing a new clip. They've just released it. It's Écran Total, a song off their third album that's called Palais d'Argile. That album was released in March. And so we're going to leave you with that track. But before we go, I want to thank my guest, Hubert Lenoir.
Thank you so much
for being with us today.
Bye.
It's a real treat to have you.
Bye.
And be sure to check out his album. It's called PICTURA De IPSE, Musique, directe. For more arts and culture news, head to our website, and please stay in touch on social media, and stay tuned to France 24. More news is coming up right after this.
Sur quel pied le danser? Mon amour pour toi, mon amour pour toi, pour toi. Sur quel pied le danser?